Hello, hello. I'm having one of those days. I like to jump right into it where it is just such a great feeling and a validation of the big why of what I do because I want to do a special shout out to Erin Persinger. You tell me how to pronounce your name, Erin, because I've been working with Erin to go live, and she's been going live through the resistance. She did such a good job. And I just want to say, you're right, you didn't die today, Erin. And so for those of you who have been holding back, and this really does fit into what we're talking about today, if you've been holding back because you're just, there's something, right? And you don't even need to know what that is, but you're not going live for a reason. And it's not because you don't know the tech or what buttons to push or any of that kind of stuff. There's something deeper and there's something else. But I want to use Erin as Rhoda, another person I went live about this week. Oh my gosh, it has been that kind of week. It has just been a week and it's only Wednesday, even though according to my internal clock, it's like Thursday. But Erin, I'm so proud of you because despite her fear, despite all of the objections we went through, Erin has been going live. She's scheduling lives for every week. She's engaging with people. She's inviting people to interview. So she has her whole plan, which is what we worked on. And now she's actually doing it. And that feels so good because, again, I'm just going to go back to Erin wrote, I should have taken a little screen grab of it because she was just like, and I didn't die. And that is really the sentiment of, Erin's a professional. She is really good at what she does. She's an expert. She's super smart, like super smart and witty and funny and all of those other things. But, it's really, putting yourself out there, and the visibility is such a sticking point. And so today I really want to talk about just, you don't have to market the way you're being marketed to. So much of there's a sentiment out there, you're not doing enough, you're not making enough, you're not creating enough. And I really think these messages are damaging because they're done in a way to make money. They're not done in a way to actually support you. And what's missing from the online marketing world so much, and the reason I think I do well is because I don't market to you the way that I'm being marketed to. In fact, I call, when I help people with masterclasses or webinar, I call it the anti-webinar. And genuinely and generally, when people work with me, they'll say something like, oh my gosh, this is such a breath of fresh air. I thought I had to. This guru, this influencer said, and again, I'm working with people who, they're doing $10,000 launches, or I'm currently working with someone who does $500,000 launches or more. I'm hoping for more this time, right? And so it's not across the board. I'm only working with people who are doing mega launches. I'm working with people, and again, the sentiment's the same, which is like, I don't like that formula everybody's giving me. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. And so I feel like today I just want to give you permission to be you, because again, part of what holds us back from visibility is thinking we have to show up in a way that is digestible for others. And this really comes from my work with Nancy Levin. If you've been following me, like Nancy Levin she's such a bright light in my life, but not just work, right? My life, the way I interact with my daughter, my dog, my husband, my family, right? Like she has changed all of that. And it's her words where she says, you really do not need to make yourself digestible to others. How you make others feel is none of their business. And so again, today, if nothing else, it's just me coming in and saying, you have permission to show up and be you. You also have permission to not really quite know on video who that is yet. That is something that may evolve. For me, it took a little while because I did exactly probably what many of you are doing. And I thought I had to show up this way. And I was quiet and demure, me on video, quiet and demure, right? And so it took me a little while to figure out that my audience was actually reacting when I was swearing or being very me or off color. And I don't mean inappropriate off color jokes, but just like 12-year-old boy humor type jokes. That's what I am like in IRL, in real life, right? And that is what is coming through. And so the biggest compliments I get when people meet me in person, or they've been following me for a while, and then we hop on a Zoom, a strategy call, or they've hired me and they're like, oh my God, you're exactly like you are on your videos. And yes, I hope so. And that's what I want for you as well. Vicki said, living an integrated life authentically is the best. Yes. And I feel like the word authentic is thrown around too much, but it's really important. So you're right, Vicki, because you have to dip in and say, this doesn't feel good. And I'm actually rubbing my belly, right? Like it doesn't feel good to me because your belly is telling you something. You know, I used to joke around that I call it bad touch marketing, bro marketing. It's intended to make you feel bad about yourself, like you're not doing enough. And that personally, it's shitty. Like that's not nice. And so that's what I want to give you permission to say, like, you don't have to market the way you're being marketed to. I love that, Vicki. Your zany manner is so fun, right? And this is me. So you don't have to be an animated rabbit. That's not you. But if you have kind of a quirky sense of humor, and it'll take a little while, wait till you all see, like, I am actively online searching for, and please give me advice because I joke around that I'm the grand dame of all things video. And for YouTube shorts, I think I'm going to do little short video clips dressed up as the grand dame who is going to tell you all things video, right? Why? Because that's fun. It's super fun to dress up and do that. Like, so I am actively online looking for things that fit that grand dame. Please feel free to add in your 2 cents, right? So you can show up with integrity. You don't have to market the way that you're being marketed to. You can change that. And that is what I realized, you know, live video showing up, it really allows you to say, like, this is who I am, and you're not everybody's cup of tea, right? So how do I show up in my non-icky way, right? Which is non-icky to me. It might not be non-icky to other people. I've had people comments on some of my ads that I'm ridiculous, and I don't take it personally because maybe in their eyes I'm ridiculous, and maybe they're looking at me dancing or something like, well, I can't take her seriously. It's okay. We're not going to be a good fit. And Vicki says, oh, please hail the grand dame. That might have to be like text that comes on with my very fancy music. Yeah, I'm thinking kind of like the king from Hamilton meets, you know, like I love Dame Judi Dench, and also who was that actress? And she wore like giant Dame Edna, right? Like that is my grand dame of, like, it's an amalgamation of all of those people. So but like, have fun with it. Who would your person be? You don't have to do it. You don't even have to tell me in the comments, but think about that. Think about who your caricature of yourself would be. And so, you know, I have a short list of ways that I'm non-icky, but we're using this. Hey, Sabrina, I love that you're catching this one live, right? I only follow people who align with my ideals. I can tell right off the bat, as I'm sure you, when you're watching someone, if it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel good, right? And so stop following the people who are making you feel like crap. I one time was following this coach, and I shared it with one of my students, and she actually voxed me, and she's like, you know what, I can't follow her because she makes me feel like shit, like I'm not doing it enough. And I was like, that's what I don't like about this person. I'm allowing them, I'm going to change my language, I'm allowing them to make me feel like I'm not enough. So I stopped following her, right? And so having that sense of like, this doesn't feel good, I don't like them. You don't have to do it any certain way. You do need to be visible. There are things I'm going to tell you need to do, but I'm never going to say you have to do it my way. Maybe you resonate with someone else who teaches video, and if their style is more your style, then please do it their way, right? But you know who feels good. So it just says Facebook user. It says, we're on the same wavelength. I ordered granny costume for Amazon. What? Who is this Facebook user who's going to do a granny costume Amazon shorts, and how can I help? Oh my gosh, so fun. Please tell me it's Jennifer Miller. Vicki said, yes, exactly. Yes. And I'm sure this resonates with you because you're my people. because I'm your people, because we get each other. And right. And so the other thing is it's really important to me that I don't filter. And I think about this because I've gone into groups and I'll teach and I ask certain questions because like I don't want to offend if I'm going to someone's group. Oh, thank God. It's you, Jennifer. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have so much fun. Oh, let's bring that to the YouTube noobs group. Yes. Thank you for being you. Got to bounce. Bye, Vicky. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you. Did you see how excited? I'm probably like red faced. I don't know because I can't see me because I cover myself with notes. But anyway, so I don't filter. If I feel like throwing an F-bomb, I do. If I want to tell an inappropriate story about something my daughter did, I will. If I really feel like it's a freedom. And again, if we were in person, I would not filter with you. And so even on LinkedIn, I'm here on LinkedIn right now. Like, I don't feel like there's an appropriate way to be. I know that I can help you. I know that I am really good at what I do. But if that means that I have to filter to work with you, it's just never going to be a good fit. It's never going to be a good fit. I don't try to get everyone to like me. So this fits in with the filtering too, is I don't really think people have to like you. And in fact, like I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Like I said, when I run my ads, that becomes abundantly clear. But at the same time, I truly believe, and it took me a little while to get here because then when you're building your email list and people unsubscribe and you're like, oh, I saw a really funny meme where it's like new online entrepreneur, someone unsubscribes, they get really mad. And then it says like online entrepreneur pro, someone unsubscribes, you're like, yes, because they're not a fit. Because I don't want to pay money for someone to be on my list who doesn't want to be there. And it really is a gift because you're never going to be a fit. If someone's telling you all the things that don't work for the way that, they want to learn, bye-bye. And it's okay, right? But it did take me a little while to get there. So I get it if you're kind of like, no, I hate, when people unsubscribe and stuff. It's okay. It really is okay. And genuinely, sometimes I love when I get unsubscribes. People are like, I love you so much, but this. And I'm like, that is so lovely of them that they're like nervous about unsubscribing because they don't want to offend me. I think that's a lovely way to unsubscribe. Not necessary, but thank you. And the last thing I talked about a little bit while I was rubbing my belly is I listen to my gut. I can tell when things don't feel like me. And so when I'm talking about like writing content, video scripts, going live, this happened to me. It happens to me all the time when I'm like building landing pages or even Facebook ads or something like that. And I'll try and kind of like use inspiration of someone else. And then it just doesn't feel like me. And that is my little inner light going, this isn't right. It isn't right. I don't know what is right. And so I'll sit on it. I'll go for a walk. Today I went for a walk and I was like, oh, right. What did I write down? I wrote, go from cringeworthy to binge-worthy with your lives. And I thought it was great until I walked through the door and I said it to my husband. And he was like, not so much. But guess what? My husband is not my ideal client. Many times I'll say something I think is hilarious. He's like, I don't know, that might be a little bit over the top, which in my world, that is my barometer for like, yeah, go for it, Tracy, say it. I have a really funny line that I wrote into my sales page I'm doing a new sales page for Live Video Launchpad. And it talks about like, how does this work? And the first line I wrote was, well, first I take all of your money and then I take my pool boy, Pablo, and we go, right? Like, so I made this whole story about how like we go to Mexico, but even though we don't speak Spanish, it doesn't matter because we're living off your dime. It has a funny little gif too of like a really good looking pool boy, right? Like, so this is that off kilter, off color humor I was talking about. My husband was like, the copywriter I use was like, I burst out laughing and spit on my computer screen. So I was like, leave it in, right? So, but that's what I mean. Like, if it doesn't feel like me, if I'm listing and price anchoring and doing all these other things, I think they're necessary, but they can be done in a way that feels good to you, which again, video has to make people feel something so that they do something. And if you're not feeling it, they're not feeling it. So you can be nervous at first and embrace things. And again, I don't want this to give you permission not to go live, not to send those 4 emails on closed cart day, right? Like those are resistances, right? I was resistant to sending 4 emails on closed cart day, but guess what? On that 4th day, I always make sales. And so on that 4th email on that last day, I always make the most amount of sales because some people are just like, no, I'm not sure. And then it pushes them over the edge. I call myself a deadline dancer. I am that person who will forget, or I'm hovering, or I'm not sure. And then I'll get that email at 11:55 that says, this is your last chance. And I am the one buying the course, right? So those work. So you don't get permission to not do those types of things. These are strategies that really work in the launching world. But what I'm talking about is when you're learning to use triggers or language or something that just doesn't feel good, don't do it. Make it your own. See what that looks like. See what that feels like. And again, I'm going to go back to, for those of you who are maybe a little newer, it's all a grand experiment. You have to test. So you're not going to come out of the gate in your first launch, in your first video, knowing exactly what to do. I can help set you up for the video, what to expect and how to get better and all of those things. But there's just a lot of moving parts and you have to be willing, like last week, I said, you have to be willing to suck. You have to be willing to be a beginner and you have to be willing to understand that everything is a grand test to see what works, what doesn't, what lands, what doesn't. Listen, I've done lives where I'm like, that was fire. And then like nobody comments. I can tell like I've got my peeps on here because they're like, yes, it's great. Right. So you know when you're hitting your stride, right? When Sabrina's telling you that you're hilarious. I think I'm hilarious too. Thanks, Sabrina. So I am going to and willing to keep going. Right. And be willing to keep going. Thank you. That's a really important point. Now I want to share something with you because I've been it's going to be hard. And I'm going to post this. I'm only showing you so that if you see this and then you see it in the comments that you can click it. I don't expect you to type that into your, I should ask Bonjoro for a little bit of a better link. But here's the dealio, my friends. I have been invited by Bonjoro to host a webinar for them. And that is huge news. So when we talk about ripple effect, when we talk about showing up as ourselves, not once it was Bonjoro like, oh, you can't do this. They were like, no, we picked you because of how you show up, right? And so I have been invited. It is on September 8th. I am prepping right now. It's all about, stop being a perfectionist with your videos. So we're going to talk about how to stop being a perfectionist. This is big news for me because woohoo, thank you. Yeah, I've been kind of sitting on it because I don't know whether I thought they were going to be like, nah, never mind, we changed our mind. They didn't. They're lovely. Casey Hill, if you're watching this, Eric, who is my contact over there, have been so lovely in the back and forth because again, when we talk about teaching the things I want to teach versus what they think. And so they have been lovely and very back and forth of like, okay, well, let's make sure it feels good to you. When we talk about perfectionism, go ahead, give me some of your questions so I can include those in my presentation. But I would love to have you on there. Is it all going to be new material to you? No. But do I want some of my super fans in there joining me, supporting me? I do. So that is the big news that I have for today. And it just really fit because I truly believe that Bonjoro, started working with me and following me because I was showing up as me. I am such a Bonjoro super fan and I was very vocal about it and I would tag them in things and I've had wild success using their app, right? Like, so I was very vocal about it. And as a thank you, as a, hey, we recognize you, as the ripple effect of showing up every week, they reached out to me about a month ago and they were like, hey, would you be interested in this? And I have to tell you, because I kept it quiet until it was like an actual official thing, did that feel good to my tummy? Oh, I'm rubbing my tummy again, right? Yeah, that feels really good. So I'm excited. Please join me on the 8th. All of the information is there. It's just a registration page. If you are part of Bonjoro, you probably got the email because I got a bunch of emails from some folks who were like, what? I have Bonjoro. your face is in my email. And like Bonjoro sent out an email today inviting people to it. So it is very exciting. Thank you for sharing the excitement with me. I'll see you on the 8th, which is next week. But of course, I'll also see you for our regularly scheduled live. So just if you take nothing else, is the way that you should be marketing to your people is the way that feels good to you. I still want you to market. So it's not permission to like hide on the sidelines, but it has to feel good to you. So everybody rub their belly on our way out. This has been a really fun live. I don't know if like I maybe need some sleep or some food, but either way, I think we've had some fun and I'll see you next week. Take care. Don't forget to rub your belly. Jennifer, we need to talk. Oh yeah.